Right. So, very good morning, all of you. So, welcome to this current affairs session. So, let's take a few important of this week. And one of the thing is our neighborhood. And come to the international relations. India and neighbors, regular questions will have. Is it required? This light? Not required. Sit. Audible? Right. So, regular questions will have it on India and neighbors. Maybe of Sri Lanka, China, Pak, Bangladesh, Myanmar. So be in touch with the developments of this India and neighbors. So this week, one of the things is in Sri Lanka, the change of guard in Sri Lanka. They are the new president now. Of course, it's an internal issue, but this happened almost after Sri Lanka undergone very severe economic, you may say, the crisis. Now, how this new president is going to tackle is also the question, but still, the economic issue is a core agenda apart from other domestic and international issues. And first time in history, right, the Marxist leaning, when you use this, like we have the Communist Party, like this, the Maoists. When you use the word Marxist, right, the communism, the father of communism, it's a scientific communism, we call Karl Marx. The ideas of Karl Marx was implemented in the political sphere by Lenin, initiated in Russia, the Russian Revolution, way back 1917. Later, with the minor changes you have in China, right? Mao, so Chinese Revolution of 1949, the Maoist. Of course, there's a slight version of Chinese and Maoist while implementing the issue, but the core idea is the same. So when the communists, they stands for community ownership of means of production. That is overall public sector the priority they will give rather than the private sector, which is a core of capitalism. America and other countries are the capitalists. Private sector dominates. And private sector issue is the profit motive is the core aspect. As a profit motive, profit motive, profit motive. If they didn't get the profit, they may close it also. They don't mind the plight to the people. It's not the case with the public sector. So public sector prioritize the public welfare. The people are the center for them, not the profits. So it's looked like everything owned by the government. But in India, we combined public and private sector. We have the mixed economy. Still, the government is playing a crucial role. Entire means of production are either owned or operated by public or private sector, but regulated by or controlled by entire economy is by government. So once you have this public leaning, it's possible only the leadership, right? When you have the attitude of towards the people, and that too the person with the communistic leaning, Karl Marx, when he talked about, they stand for more of the people's welfare rather than the profit point. So definitely they may do something. That's what the people of Sri Lanka now believe in this. So first time, instead of other parties, right, the communistic party, though it's not the complete is concerned, they came to power. So in a way, it's challenging the capitalistic orientation, like Americas. And one of the India's related, for example, India is a mixed economy, whereas China is completely a Maoist when the communistic oriented, though economically they too liberalized, but overall maximum control is with the government. So it looks like China and Sri Lanka going hand in hand regarding the systems is concerned. So the people of Sri Lanka believed in that way more than the prophets, the people's welfare, so that we can come out from this problems. And here a recollection, though related 1930s, we have the concept called Great Depression. Whole faced it, and with the suggestion of then famous economist Keynes, they overcome it. He simply said, dig the wells and fill them again. To make it simple, Guntal Tovi Pochan. Then how it is going to be? Dig the wells, fill them again. So it's non-productive, isn't it? So no profit involved here. That is the intention. So whether profit, no profit, you have to do something for the people, then you will come out. Otherwise, if you look everything from the profit angle, you can't. So then President of America, Roosevelt, undertook the great program called New Deal program. Okay, he started beautifying America, beautifying the parks. Okay, Yellowstone Park is one of the initial in that process. That means the government stepped in so that he came out from the crisis. So even in capitalistic countries that happened. So we have that history as a proof. So perhaps the Sri Lankans realized this. So mere capitalistic oriented may not do. Let's go for this leaning. So they have chosen this leader, okay, AK, okay, Anura Kumara Dishnayake as his new president. Here, before getting into one more thing, also you have to quickly recollect is the system. What sort of system they have? Is it a parliamentary system? Is it a presidential system? Sri Lanka, like America, is a presidential system, or like India, parliamentary system? They have, no doubt, president and prime minister. Okay, France also, president and prime minister is there. But whenever the president comes, we'll give more priority rather than the prime minister, isn't it? In America, of course, there's no concept of the president. In Russia, you have the president and prime minister, but president is more powerful. That means there are the few countries exclusively presidential systems. There are the few countries like India exclusively parliamentary systems. But similarly, the combination of presidential and parliamentary, like we mixed federal unitary, right? So they mix. And France is the first country which combined the features of both parliamentary and presidential, wherein president is more powerful, but day-to-day activities will be taken care by the prime minister. The similar mode was adopted by Sri Lanka after 2015. Before, it is parliamentary system. Before 2015, Sri Lanka is a parliamentary system. After 2015, okay, with this new constitution in Sri Lanka, it combined both the features of parliamentary and presidential. Okay, so whenever you combine both the features of parliamentary presidential, again the president is all powerful here. Unlike in India, right? When the president is nominal, we call rubber stamp. Or at the same time, he is not absolutely enjoys the power. There's the prime minister is also, who will take care of day-to-day issues. At the same time, here and there, in this limited sphere, they have the powers. So they combine these features of parliamentary and presidential in Sri Lanka. So two major countries are examples for you. First is France, second is the Sri Lanka. Okay, to some extent, Russia, but Russia more of presidential. I can say almost all 80% is presidential and only 20% is parliamentary. Ratio proportion, if you look into that part. But in France and Sri Lanka, it is not the case. Almost all, though president is a bit a 60-40 ratio, it will be like this. Okay, like Indian federal unitary features, the similar way it will be that. So that point also you have to keep in mind. The reason why president, though it's not a presidential form of government, it's a mixed, we call this. President got the priority. Okay. So now that communist regulating the person, then what are the few things about him when you look at which party perhaps he came from? So there's a party name, right? JVP, Marxist Political Party. What is JVP full form? One more thing, regularly I used to say to you, whenever some sort of abbreviations or even the word meaning you are not aware or something new comes, don't just go like this. Stop there. Stop there. That's it. Then check out it. How? Google it. Simple, right? Everything, right? You have even the mobile phone, just all the thing is concerned. That should be your habit. Okay? Automatically, you will get it. Once while reading the newspaper, if you start practicing like this, the moment you look at, automatically the questions also will come. Okay? Whether it is there or not there. So, for example, anyhow, maybe I'll take the minutes is concerned. So, once you are going for, okay, okay, where it is, okay, the moment you indicate what is this, JVP full form, for example, right? I am sure that full form in medical, different is coming, right? Full form perhaps in politics, okay, different things also coming it up. So what to do? So once is a political party, right? Then you are getting the thing is concerned. So while checking, cross-checking is important. Okay, Janata Vimukti Peramuna, People's Liberation Front, if you translate it into English. Here, right, this word also, Sinhala. This is, Sinhala is a Sri Lankan language, right? So perhaps it is on the, so who is the president, secretary. So you'll have the rough idea on this. And this is required especially to deal with the mains point of view. Okay, very much essential. Otherwise, you may feel a tougher part is concerned. Okay, so don't hesitate to go for and check it so that you will get everything on this part. Okay, so then in the course of time, right, single party may or may not control. Here also we have alliances with other parties. It may be pre-poll or post-poll. Pre-poll is before election itself, the few parties come together like NDA here or India Alliance, whatever the thing is concerned, a pre-poll alliance. Post-poll is after elections. If no party got a simple majority to form the government, right, then they may enter into. And here it entered into alliance of this part of NPP alliance, National People's Power. Of course, here itself is mentioned, so no need to look into the issue. Okay, so from 2019 onward, this alliance is taken. That year you can understand very clearly. right? The point is very clear of this. 2019, right? Sri Lanka faced this economic turmoil. So, the role played by this Naike is not alone, right? Is not alone the fighter. Along with other political parties, like-minded, is able to move. And one more thing, a context, yeah, yeah, sorry, you have to keep in mind. When 2022, there's a moment where he participated very much, very crucial role, Aragal Naya movement. It is a protest against then President Rajapaksa and of course the Prime Minister. As the people of Sri Lanka finally feel that they are doing nothing, and it's their policies finally led to it. So at one point, the president, like recently Bangladesh Prime Minister run away and back to India, like this, the same thing happened in Sri Lanka also. So finally, they have to quit. So this whole scenario you have to keep in mind, and the possibility of right now recently they're asking different issues, which are the following true, false also. There also this Aragalaya movement when is what it is, okay, and especially when the mains point of your writing, right? How the people are fed up with then government, okay, anti-incumbency. That's what we call, right? Once you are against it, then how it will take the shape. So we have the example in Sri Lanka, you have example in Bangladesh. Okay, forcing the president to run away from the country. Then you can understand intensity of it. And the mains additionally you have to keep in its impact on India. Though prelims point of view we don't require much, but its impact on India. As I said, is a communistic leaning. Naturally, they lean more towards China. That's what we get feared about.
So Sri Lanka President or Prime Minister Dodi.
They are there. So once more leaning toward China, then again, right? China, Sri Lanka move go in hand. Then what about India? Because the Chinese policy of encircling India now come into the fore. You have to recollect that. What is that name? Chinese policy of encircling India through connecting ports. Hmm? I think last month or before we discussed in a different contest. String of pearls, right? String of pearls policy. So, for example, Colombo port, Hambantota port, the moment the Chinese warships are there, definitely it will affect India's security related issues are there. So, like this, we need to look into from the mains point of view, if at all, the impact on India and what India is going to do. Anyhow, one aspect is that last summer itself, we invited this Naike to India while he's in opposition itself. So comparatively, we have the relationship is cordial right now. Anyhow, every country's national interest is a top priority. And for India, India first as well as neighborhood first is there. So how we are going to tackle? Finally, few months it will take. So this is the moment which you have to keep in mind. Then, of course, when you say this prime minister, two changed. The Harini Amarasuriya was appointed. The Harini, it is she, right? And the word is concerned. And quick recollection is Westi, first prime minister of Sri Lanka. First woman president, first woman prime minister in the world itself. Okay, the woman is Srimavo Bandar Naike, belong to Sri Lanka. So at that time, you have to recollect the name of the Srimavo Bandaru Naike. Okay, now Harini became it of his concern. So, because in the world itself, right, first woman prime minister of a country, and Srimavo Bandar Naike. So quick recollection, and again Google it. and try to get some informations. Then who are the women prime ministers now? Recently, I think in CDS examinations, they posed about which countries, which are the following countries not having women prime ministers or presidents. Therefore, so one is not, all three are there. Not. So we don't know what sort of questions are coming up. So Google it and try to do those things. So that's briefly about the Sri Lanka. Okay, so I'm not getting into much into this. Few things only you have to keep in mind: the presidential parliamentary system. In addition to that, then overall, why the people preferred the communistic parties rather than in Western Europe and all the things. No, now it is the right wing is dominating, but still here the left. Left means in a way communistic leanings, more of public sector leanings priority. So those aspects you have to keep in mind. Then another issue that we have, this is the Quad 2024 Quad summit has taken place recently in America at the residence of US President. Right now, elections are going to be held. Perhaps is the last meeting on this Joe Biden's. Okay, Delaware. Okay, so what is Quad? Full form of Quad, anything? So it is something like, no, when a single, only one, two bilateral, okay, three tri. When you say four countries is a Quad. Okay, that's it. There's no any separate full form for the quadrilateral, four countries grouping. Okay, so when this Quad country, Quad is quadrilateral. So that means it's a four countries grouping. We call it taken place. So what are those four countries? Of course, here it is there. Along with this, India, Japan, Australia, and the US. Right? Anyhow, I'll make it very clear on this issue. So quadrilateral full form, if it is, it will have the security dialogue. QSD, technically called as, but only we use the word Quad. Quadrilateral, when you say the four countries, okay, or four countries grouping, okay, part is concerned. And we use the word, it's not a formal alliance, right? That's the reason why simply we call it as a grouping. And the priority is for security. What sort of security? Is it something like a NATO? North Atlantic Treaty Organization is American-led military bloc. Okay, attack on any country, treat it as attack on every country. Together they have to fight. The reason why when Ukraine now wanted to join, opposed by the Russia and all the issues are there, is a purely a military bloc. But Quad is it like this? The word security is there, right? So at one point, China considered this is nothing but Asian NATO. Okay, they use the word this is an Asian NATO. It's a Chinese version, not of the thing. So finally, clarification came where security doesn't mean or not only relating to military or defense, but mainly for health security, food security, although involved here. Like the COVID came into their rescue, health security become the crucial point. Okay, and food security, of course, is essential. So the security got a more importance, no doubt, but it got more its dimension changed. Okay, it was expanded more rather than restricting to defense part is concerned. The reason why it is nothing to do with exclusivity. So all these four countries, if you look at, right, the part is concerned, entire thing, the Pacific, Asia. So Asia Pacific, yeah, they wanted to focus on this one. So right now they are focusing on the priority, no doubt, on maritime security. At the same time, addressing the climatic change and other issues regularly. Now that it met, what are the things that the crucial thing, right? There's a quad cancer moon shoot. So there's a word I have to make this initiated. Now the member countries has to contribute or focus more on tackling and giving treatment to the cancer patients in these countries. Because now the quantity of these patients, right, increasingly by leaps and bounds in recent years. Even you find in Hyderabad more of cancer hospitals compared to these others. So health security here, okay, get the top priority. That you can understand security to understand the part is concerned. So this concept came moon shoot. Okay, moon shoot is nothing to do with the moon. So that's what the point which you have to keep in mind. So cancer moon shoot. Compared this cerebral, mainly cervical cancer, because apart from, because the different variants in the cancer is there, and once the cervical cancer, it's difficult to cure and possibility of the death at the shortest span. So they want to address this issue. So health security is the crucial concept here. Then another thing is quad at sea ship. Quad at sea. Okay. Ship observer mission. Sea ship observer mission actually. All the titles now they made it this as the major core, ignoring this sea ship. Here the intention is maritime security, safety part, and you are including the interoperability areas here. That is, when the ships are on the sea, some problem may occur. For example, some technical issue. Then nearby, if Indian ship face this, nearby Australian ship is there, immediately that will come and rescue and help it. Or shortage of fuels, or the piracy issues. If something they're facing, they will help each other. Or we want to to some rest, then those ports we can, like this, in the process of operations, they will help each other. So if we restrict itself, all right, but so this sort of thing now getting nearly towards this so-called the concept of the NATO, and a number of newspapers include Chinese versions. They dubbed it as a de facto military alliance now. Okay, Quad become de facto military alliance. What is de facto? Not de jure. Okay, and Times of India, no, big, the very front page itself is they came up with the de facto. What is de facto? Hmm? So these two terms, right, you have to make in mind when the de jure is as per law, right? Jure as per law. That is in the thing. De facto, when you use the word as per, the word is right, fact. Fact is in reality, right? Though you are saying one thing, but in reality is happening another. So Chinese fears of making it as Asian NATO maybe in the course of time real. Who knows that? Okay. So in a way, this is okay, Quadrant C is moving towards. And contribute is the maritime initiative. We have the training in the Indo-Pacific. They call Maitri. Okay. Maritime. MA is maritime initiative training. Okay. TR is training in Indo-Pacific. So to make it, the concept is Maitri to train these Quad partners. So this and this looks like have some sort of intention, okay, link. So what you are going to train? So a perception is that you are creating the background now towards this military alliance. Those openly are not saying military alliance, but the steps you are taking all looks like this. So it's a de facto NATO or Asia Pacific related the concepts. So these are the main aspects. Apart from this, okay, you have one more. This is a radio access network. Also, they initiated called RAN. You can just make use of this radio access network. That means they are supporting this open radio access network in this telecom sector. So they initiated AORA, Asian Open Radio Access, Asian Open Radio Access network is there. So to have this tie up with the Asian Open RAN Academy now, AORA is coming up. Asian Open RAN Academy. RAN is Radio Access Network. So this one is this Asian. So just remember this one more abbreviation related. Asia Open RAN Academy. So the squad is now supporting this by initiating this RAN, Radio Access Network. So they are making these trials in this Philippines area. Both US and Japan is investing in this part. That's one more thing you have to keep in mind. Okay. And this is all these declarations came up in recent meets, and that declaration also called as Welling, because this all happening this Wellington Declaration. Okay. Quad Wellington Declaration. So now this year title, Force for the Global Good. This is what they thought about it. Force for the global good. Force for the global good. This is the theme of this year's Quad. And of course, apart from this, they want to enter into climate and clean energy related issues, critical and emerging technologies. Now that very much talking about AI related or semiconductor supply chains, all these issues also they discussed in detail and getting into things done. And next year summit where they are going to be held, 2025. 2025 summit is in India only. So for that, it's very important exam point of view. Okay, 2025 is going to be India. So now this India's contributions, when you say this, so for this Quad Cancer Moonshot, India is providing almost 7.5 million worth of diagnostic equipments. Similarly, HPV vaccine doses and assisting the countries in Indo-Pacific related part regarding what you call digital public infrastructure, that is this cancer. And now, and also, right, this year, this maritime initiative for training and the workshop is going to be held in India only. That is in Mumbai. Is going to take place shortly in 2025. Okay, the workshop also. Then one more thing also, the Quad Regional Ports and Transportation Conference, right? That's what relating to this is going to be held in Mumbai. And solar related, now this climatic related part is very important. So India is ready to invest nearly $2 million projects both in Africa and Oceania on behalf of Quad. Okay, their initiative. Then nearly 50 scholarships for these engineering students in Indo-Pacific. India is contributing. So America is contributing something. Japan is contributing something, right? So it's a joint venture of the Quad. In this, it's an Indian contribution. So moving towards a closure and closure. Okay. So cooperation, coexistence, essential thing. Whether it is directed toward China or not is the next question. It is immaterial now. It is the perception of the China. But their intention is entire region, they help each other and win-win scenario is an essence of the Quad. That's what finally they wish to communicate the issue. And all sort of issues they are ready to tackle, including security angle. So that's what the intention of this Quad part. Any doubt? Any clarifications? Right? And when India and of course to some extent Japan is not very much interested to give the defense, that is the complete, right, so-called security angle to Quad. But Australia wants something. So America, Australia together with Britain, they initiated with another, right, for the sake of Australia, a defense pact. What is that? What is the defense pact of these three countries? America, Australia, Britain. We discussed long back, of course, this. Have you remembered this APPSC? Right? US, UK. This is Australia. So when that part is concerned. So in this context, try to recollect that also. That. Then one more item. that is concerned, right? Boss is coming, right? The Bharati Antariksha Station. Now this, okay, boss, boss one, anyway, is coming it up. So Bharati Antariksha Station, they are going to establish by 2028. The mission is going to be. So recently, the Union Cabinet approved this as part of this revised Gaganyaan program. Okay. So nearly 20,000 plus crores of funding they allotted for this issue. So when you use the word Antarctica station, is it any stations existing right now, or India's is the first? Already? What are they? Who's those? Hmm. Right. So when you use the word functioning, there's a word only one functioning part, International Space Station, ISS, right? It is in collaboration between 5 space agencies, not one. Of this NASA, Roscosmos, JAXA, ESA, and CSA. And it orbits around the Earth in the lower Earth orbit, at what saying. Along with the ISS, we have another, United States, Russia, and China, independently operating their respective space stations. It is there, it is. But functional is mainly one. And of course, now, what is his name? Huh? The private. Huh? Space station, one more thing, right? That was the thing. Find it difficult immediately getting the name, okay? Who was to made it, huh? Will make the thing. Okay. So this also there. So we are going to go with this. So that part. Similarly, one more new launch vehicle we are going to get. ISRO to develop next gen launch vehicles. NGLV now. So before we have already PSLV, GSLV. Polar satellite launching vehicle. GSLV. What is it? Full form GSLV? Geosynchronous. Right? Now NG. Okay. Next gen is coming up in this part is concerned. So that part you can do this anyway. Now that we are planning to send the humans as well, this is very much crucial. Then similarly, India is also planning a mission to Venus. Okay. So by March 28, they are also planning to launch it here. So after Mars, this will be done. Already Mars mission, right? We have it up now. The second mission relating to. Then one more science-related 3 Params Rudra supercomputers recently launched by this National Swampur Computing Mission. This, you may remember this one, right? So right now deployed in Pune. Delhi, Calcutta. Then one more new thing related to science related, right? Earth will get a second moon, they are saying. But not all the time. Only a brief period from September 29 to November 25th. Only this period they are going to get it. So they're calling it as the mini moon. So they named it as PT fine. Asteroid 2024 PT fine. So only recently, right, NASA detected it. in the month of August. So this is a part of this Arjun asteroid group. Then, so back to other news. Karnataka High Court upholds, they said, right? Governor's sanction against CM Siddaramaiah in Moda case. What it is? So there's a allegation against the Chief Minister of Karnataka, right? Siddaramaiah. So any sort of use, misuse, abuse, right? When there's somebody is in power, okay, misuse, abuse happen against them, a sanction of the governor is required at the state level. So that who will look into anti-corrupt practices of these ministers, CM or high-end officials at the state level? Okay, Lokayukta. So we have the two anti-corruption bodies. So Lokayukta at the state level and Lokpal at the central level. Okay, even though if allegation against the prime minister, they can look into this. And one of the powerful Lokayukta is Karnataka. Apart from this, because every state-wise powers varies, but that is very powerful. So once the governor sanctioned, then that was questioned by Siddaramaiah. But Karnataka High Court said yes, whatever that is right. So let us wait and see now how it is going to be done. But at the same time, the other day news come up, Karnataka government withdraw general consent for CBI. So when you talked about Lokayukta, Lokayukta is not having its own investigation team. It has to depend upon the state investigative agencies or the central investigative agency. It can seek the help. As directly the CM himself is involved, there every possibility Lokayukta may take the help of CBI. So the Karnataka state government took the decision to restrict the entry of CBI. Can it do so? Is it legal? Absolutely. CBI was constituted, because last time we discussed, right, in the part of non-constitutional bodies, not by central government. Okay, it's not part of the constitution, right? Nowhere. It's not a constitutional body. No dedicated article meant for that, or not created by the parliament, nor a presidential order. Then how CBI was constituted? By Delhi Police Act. Okay, but it can be adopted by any state. So in the course of time, CBI become something like a de facto central agency, though technically it's not. So for the entry of CBI team, the consent of the concerned state is required. So when you use the word general consent, at any point of time, CBI can come and go and investigate. No need to seek a special permission. Otherwise, you have to make it case by case. Okay? Case by case, they call. You are not completely saying no to CBI. Case by case. Whenever the issue comes, CBI has to inform to the state government has to say yes, then only they have to enter. So right now, instead of general consent was withdrawn, case by case they can. Now in this case, if at all CBI wish to enter, okay, Lokayukta seek the help of CBI to entry, again permission of the state is required. And possibility it may not give, it may refuse. Then how Lokayukta can function effectively? Can Lokayukta has any other alternative? CBI will step in not on its own. That fact you have to keep in mind. Somebody need to ask. Then only it will step in. Right? So either state government has to ask, central government to ask. Other than state and central government, who can command CBI to do? Recently that happened in Calcutta. High courts, Supreme Court can do so. Okay? It may order for investigations and they have to do that. Okay? Now, of course, even if the general can refuse, if they resort to the court, there's every possibility that court may dictate and state government is helpless the moment the direction came from either High Court or Supreme Court. So this sort of, the political games, all the thing is there. Though they said it's a biased issue, so right now case by case they will go ahead. So these additional steps you have to keep in mind. Then of course another thing in the state related, the Uttarakhand, they introduced a bill that wanted to protect the properties, both the public property and private properties, when because whenever the strikes once happen, immediately you will throw the stones or make the fight, the buses, cars, right, everything, whatever be you find at that time on the roads, sometimes immaterial, public property or private property. So who is responsible later? So to make this person, okay, individual responsible for this damage, the Uttarakhand now came up with. So number of state government is pondering over on this issue. Some they have made it. Now this also made part is concerned. So mainly focus both on public as well as the private property damage recovery bill. That's what they call. So full recovery of the damages caused to public property during this rewards. And even the fine is there. In addition to that, up to 8 lakhs fine, they are ready to make the things done. So initially it is an ordinance. Now is going to be an act. What is ordinance? Ordinance is an executive order. Okay, state level issued by governor, central level by the president. When the legislature is not in session, it has the same power as law of the parliament or assembly, but limited time period. What's the time period? Maximum is 6 months or 6 weeks of the first meeting of the house. Okay, so that fact you have to keep in mind as well. So who is she and what is this share? Atishi, right? Finally take over as the CM, but something odd. There's a CM chair behind another empty chair. So that attracting the attention of everything else. So whom that chair meant for? Arvind Kejriwal. So openly she is staying, right? She wait for Arvind Kejriwal. That means next elections, Kejriwal will come back, that's her opinion, and do that. And she herself compared with right Ramayana episodes. Okay, when Rama been to right the forest and all the way, the thing is there, the birth. Okay, so to some extent in the way. So it's a peculiar in democracy right now, right? We never find this sort of scenario hitherto. Though we have the occasions, right? CMs resigns, another of his persons become CM, and later again they do resign. All the issues are there. But here, a symbolic gesture, okay, open declaration is done, right? Then here one more issue is related to mercy petition. A death row convict, right? A Balwant Singh Rajona approached the Supreme Court seeking release due to delay in this mercy petition. So already he was awarded death sentence. So once the court awarded death sentence, whatever be the concern, he was hanged to death. Before that, that what we call capital punishment, there's an option they can seek the mercy from whom? From the President of India. So President has the power of pardon. Which article? Sure. Article 72. In this context, you have to keep in mind. President has the power to pardon the death sentence. Even he can reduce the sentence period. He can convert rigorous imprisonment in simple imprisonment, like this, right? So, approach. No, President has to say yes or no. So neither said yes nor no. It become order in recent years. Whenever the bills come to the governor or president, they are saying neither yes nor no, not only in this. So the delay. So what it implies? They said as it's getting delayed, better to relieve me. Now we have to find out what is going to be happening. So at least now forcing the president to take the decision. If the president refuses to, now the court will decide on its own what to do. So undue delay, and you have the occasions where the Supreme Court relieve them. So finally we have to wait and see what is going to happen. Then one more thing regarding Supreme Court came up in a way, it reversed the High Court judgment. Viewing, storing child sexual exploitation and abuse material. So the new term they use this now, CSEAM. Okay. Instead of child pornography, hitherto you have this word. Now don't use this word. Make it more broader and everything. So even viewing now become the question mark. So they wanted to protect the child from any sort of unwarranted, even the thought process. Okay. So that's related to the POCSO, Protection of the Children from Sexual Offences Act. Even number of examination, they ask the full form if it. Okay. Similarly, you have the IT Act 2000, all the issues are involved. So now the court wants use this CSEAM, right? CSEAM. The full form of CSEAM is also important word. Child sexual exploitation and abuse material. So no question of using child pornography hitherto in all judicial orders as well as the judgment. So maybe in the course of time they want to make it as a mandatory word. Then few more tidbits. Arundhati Roy's first memory, right? The Mother's Mary. Comes to me. Is the first memory, right? Her biography, right? When you say this, the part is concerned, one of the theme they had taken. So books and authors part is important, and the God of Small Things. This appeared once upon a time in Group 1 exam also. Who is an author for that? So, as the books and authors are the familiar, advisable to go through that. Okay. Then Air Marshal Amarpreet Singh, now the Chief of Air Force now. So who is the present Chief of Army? Who is the present Chief of Navy? So the moment one aspect will come, another two also you need to recollect. Then overall 3 you have one more head. Who? CDC who? Okay. So Google it and recollect. These things whenever you saw in the newspaper, don't restrict yourself to them. So that, because persons, places, definitely you have questions in every examinations, okay, in the current issue especially. So if new air marshal, it doesn't mean that they should not ask others. Who knows? Related information you should have. Okay. So put it in the bracket there and Google it and know about it. Then of course, Oscar movies, no doubt, very crucial part is concerned. So now, hmm, Lapata, Lapata, no? What is how to pronounce it? Lapata, Lapata. Okay, not ta. Right. So again, a patriarchal system related. This is so director and producer also you need to be aware of it. Okay, directed by Kiran Rao and produced by Amir Khan himself. Right. So make the things done. Then Miss Universe, Singha. Okay, for this 2024. Then in addition to Miss India worldwide also. Okay, Dhruvi Patil. So there's just information you can just keep in mind. Then one more thing, though number of times we're discussing, quickly recollect this. APPSC extended in parts of two states, Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh. So what is APPSC? What is the full form? Oh my God, number of times, right? We discussed all the way it is. So I just thought of it last so that recollecting issue. Armed Forces Special Powers Act. So once you are giving special powers, it allows security forces to arrest individuals and conduct searches without a warrant. So this is a very crucial thing. So more powers for them rather than the local police. So that is what even now most of the northeastern states, one that used a lot of controversy on this. So using power properly, no problem. Where the problem is arising is misusing and abuse. Okay. In Mizoram, Manipur, you have innumerable complaints against this armed forces while using this APPSC. But still, now it's restricted, only restricted parts. And in the course of time, it seems they are planning to withdraw by one only specific areas. Then, of course, now Commonwealth Games 2026. Scotland is ready. When ready, it is not actually Scotland, it's supposed to be done by Australia. But now Australia said no because of financial issues. So Scotland has taken up this 2026 Commonwealth Games. The change may be important for it. Then, of course, another the history related but current issue, 100 years of discovery of the Harappan civilization. 100 years means way back, right? 1924. Now that we are in 2024, everything onwards. By whom? John Marshall, then Director General of Archaeological Survey of India. So keeping that in mind, so I'm requesting to go through this Harappa civilization, Indus civilization, and related issues. So if the question comes because of this, right, relevancy always crucial. Okay, the questions will be on this. So in history part, we have the thorough with this issue. Then one more last issue is our defense minister recently opened this water swimming expedition. Of course, it's always be there, but here this is a bit different here. This swimming is happening covering 21 islands of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And specialty of those 21 islands, they are named after Paramveer Chakra awardees. So all the islands which are named after this Paramveer Chakra awardees, this they are going to have this swimming part is concerned. So led by Wing Commander Paramveer Singh, the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Coastal Guard swam over 300 kilometers across these 5 months to unfold this flag. So they are unfurling the national flag on every island. Last week we discussed, no, the Port Blair was renamed, right? Good. Okay. So in this context, this is also important. So this is the open water swimming expedition. Okay. So they may call it Expedition Paramveer. The name also made it. Okay. These are the few things of this week. Any doubts? Any clarifications? Right. Thank you. We'll meet you next.